You've seen it happen. One day your lettuce is a low, leafy rosette, and a few days later it suddenly shoots a tall stalk into the air, sprouts tiny flowers, and turns completely bitter. This rapid transformation is a calculated biological survival routine triggered by environmental stress. Lettuce thrives exclusively as a cool season crop, evolving to grow in temperatures far lower than typical summer vegetables. This graphic shows the precise window where lettuce actually thrives. The biological comfort zone sits directly between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius, or 50 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. When temperatures climb into the red zone, the plant experiences acute heat stress. It abandons leaf production and redirects all its energy into reproducing as quickly as possible. Producing a reliable harvest requires shifting the focus away from traditional summer planting toward active management of environmental stress. Creating a low-stress environment begins before you touch the soil. It starts with selecting seed genetics bred specifically to tolerate heat. When reviewing seed packets, look specifically for loose leaf types or packaging explicitly labeled as bolt-resistant, rather than tightly packed crisp-head varieties. Planting early in the spring and again in late autumn naturally aligns your macro timeline with the plant's biological temperature window. Planting an entire packet of seeds on a single day creates a massive, short-lived glut that often bolts or rots before it can be used. This timeline illustrates succession planting. You break your total seed count into small, distinct batches, depositing seeds sequentially every 2 weeks. Staggering the start dates ensures that as your first batch finishes producing, the next batch is perfectly sized and ready to take place. Combining bolt-resistant genetics with a succession timeline extends the harvest window from a few weeks to several months of continuous supply. Even with perfectly timed seeds, the physical location in your garden dictates their survival. Harsh, unshielded environments often trigger the panic response prematurely. The ideal location receives direct sunlight during the cooler morning hours and remains protected by shade throughout the afternoon. Unfiltered afternoon sunlight rapidly elevates the internal temperature of the leaves, acting as an acute heat stressor that accelerates bolting. Below the surface, lettuce has a highly concentrated, shallow root system. Drawing resources from only the top few inches of soil makes the plant extremely vulnerable to surface drying. To protect those roots, the soil architecture must be loose and compost-rich. This allows it to drain excess standing water while retaining a steady baseline of hydration. The target consistency feels like a wrung-out sponge, evenly and continuously damp, without becoming muddy or bone dry. A thin layer of surface mulch provides an additional environmental buffer, locking moisture into the soil and stopping radiant heat from baking the shallow roots. Strategic site selection and soil preparation create an isolation barrier, shielding the plant from the temperature and hydration spikes that cause bitterness. Many growers leave lettuce untouched in the garden while waiting for a dense, heavy head to form. The cut-and-come-again method provides a more effective approach, beginning the harvest while the plant is still young and developing. Instead of pulling up the whole plant, you snap or cut only the oldest, outermost leaves directly at the base. As shown in this diagram, you focus your harvesting on the outer cut zone while leaving the inner central crown completely undamaged so it can generate new growth. Continually removing those mature outer leaves sends a signal that forces the plant to remain in a state of vegetative growth. Frequent harvesting yields food weeks sooner and physically interrupts the plant's transition toward reproduction. A harvest of crisp, sweet lettuce follows the accumulation of small, consistent stress reductions throughout the growing cycle. This involves selecting resistant genetics, staggering your planting timeline, maintaining steady moisture, and harvesting continuously to maintain vegetative growth. These steps move the process from unpredictable guesswork toward a dependable, engineered harvest. Success in the garden relies on recognizing the biological signals of the plant and building a system to address those needs directly. If you found this approach helpful, consider subscribing. In the next video, we break down how to apply these science-backed consistency strategies to other types of leafy greens.